We're always in our clubhouse getting high. Super fuckers! Everybody wishes we would die. Super fuckers! Here we come like a bomb. Everybody fucking run and hide.
On tonight's episode of Farm Force.
Billy, did you clean out? Sorry. Okay. I just started laughing. Okay. Billy, did you clean out that pig? Wait, you're not Billy, you're Nolan. Okay. Nolan, did you clean out that pig pen?
Why, Cowboy Jim, I ain't been in your sister's room all day.
Don't talk about my wife like that.
You know she's a good-for-nothing hillbilly son of a bitch.
She does good things sometimes.
Can't improv with this shit.
We're Jimmy Fallowing up this whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Is that the guy who like keeps bringing back 90s stuff but interjecting himself and it's really cringy?
When he was on SNL, he'd always break character and start laughing.
Is that endearing? Is that supposed to be endearing?
To some people.
Hey, you got him a talk show. Well, he also didn't he like remake Good Burger, but like add himself and kind of took away from Keaton and Kel's moments?
I know what a white guy thing to do.
White people do ruin everything.
Fucking white people. Let's take away Good Burger. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Hey, it's the Pizza Party Podcast. Who are you people?
I'm Nolan, and we have a guest today.
I'm Gables.
Fucking Gables.
Gables!
Whoa, what the fuck is so special about Gables?
I don't know.
It's motherfucking Gables, asshole.
I know, but like, in our ring of friendship, like, everyone's just like, look how great Gables is. Like, fuck, what did Gables do?
Hey, when Gables, if you were in Gables' hood, you would know, man. Gables does, you gotta respect Gables. He's done some, when you mess with his territory.
I do a lot for the community, okay?
He does a lot for the community. He gives people free turkeys on Thanksgiving. So then when the cops are like, did you see Gables on this date? They're like, I don't even know who that is. Who's a Gables?
If this were Pakistan, Gables would be sewing soccer balls.
What?
It's a Freddy Got Fingered quote.
Of course it is.
The angry father saying that to a Gort.
Also, our other mainstay is here.
Oh, right, he's still here.
Who the fuck are you? What have you done?
Nothing.
Wow, go back to animating your mama.
Yeah.
Whose mama?
Shut up, Jim.
Yours. It's yours. So, the next video is going to be a Patreon review of The Rugrats, which it's only going to cover the first three, well, the main series, but mostly the first three seasons, because there's so much history to cover with the Rugrats.
The first three seasons are the best.
I mean, it inspired a generation of diaper fetishes, but anyway.
Did it?
True.
What? No.
Definitely.
You had.
I think it did.
The only thing I remember about Rugrats is that like Bobby's head, or no, wait,
Bobby?
No, is it Bobby?
Bobby.
Timmy.
It's
Timmy.
Tommy.
No, wait, Tommy.
You're thinking of Bobby's World.
I was thinking of Bobby's World. That show was awesome. Tommy's head was so like organic. It didn't really have like a shape, like design wise. It just kind of, it was a potato. It was whatever it wanted to be.
Yeah.
He had a birth defect.
Oh.
It was all in Tommy's head.
No, all the kids are in Angelica's.
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube, there are 1 trillion Rugrat theory videos.
Cartoon conspiracies.
Cartoon conspiracy. These are all made by the government to make you dumber. Let's look at the facts, starting with Rocket Power.
Was Walt Disney's head frozen under the Disney theme park?
Yeah, how come that would be a good cartoon conspiracy? Is his head really frozen underneath the theme park?
Well, that was the inspiration for that one live-action Cartoon Network show, Out of Jimmy's Head, or Reanimated.
Oh, really?
I initially thought of, I think there's a Robot Chicken episode. I think it was like one of the first ones where like they had like Walt Disney has to like feed off like I think Mexican children,
Cuban children.
There you go. And there's also another one. There was another show that referenced it. Oh no, I'm thinking of Venture Brothers with the bee.
Oh yeah,
Frisbee World.
Frisbee World. Oh, finally.
That show's coming back soon.
After 40 years of hiatus, Venture Brothers is back.
That's the worst thing about Adult Swim is that like they have such a low budget that like they either have to be a really like poorly produced show to get like episodes going constantly, or it has to be a really well done show and it just airs every other few years whenever the Harvest Moon, like Rick and Morty or Venture Brothers.
Well, I was reading a thing about that with networks because now because of Louie and Curb Your Enthusiasm, is they're considering doing that more where they have a show that just randomly comes back every couple of years just so the creators can have time to like properly develop another season. So that's probably good in the long run, hopefully. Yeah. But it is annoying when you're into a show and they're like, when's the next season? Oh, 3 years. Fuck you.
Yeah.
To be fair, I could handle hiatus. I mean, like, did you guys watch the latest Venture Brothers, like the special?
I haven't. It's been on my DVR for 2 years.
the flight to the space station. It's so good. Like it balls everything you need, like from the past seasons into one goodness, and everything's worth it. Even if like one season was kind of bad. What was it, 4 or 5? Whichever when they split in half. And count it like they basically like added 4 episodes, then cut in half, and then aired them separately as kind of like part 1, part 2, which apparently is the new common thing. I was actually scared that was going to become a reoccurring thing with TV shows because Breaking Bad and a few other big series did it.
Mad Men do it also?
I think so.
Yeah, it's annoying. I don't know why they do that because it does ruin the
genius. It's genius. Think about it this way: you pay for 2 more episodes. And then you cut it in half and you double your profits because you get to sell it as 2 different DVD sets.
That's true. Well, it's true. And you can actually do that more with a TV show than a movie. Because if you shoot a movie and you're paid for one movie, if they cut it up and they release it as 2 movies, they have to repay the actors for another movie. It's actually, it happened in the 70s. There was a 3 Musketeers movie and they tried to do that. And the lawsuits after started the precedent that you can never do that again. But apparently with TV shows, you can, because you're just airing the episodes later. You just have to pay them to promote it again. Like it's not as expensive for a TV show. So that's what I read. I'm not a contract lawyer, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But like all things, the only people that lose is the audience.
Yeah, 50 fucking years of hiatus because like Boondocks and Venture Brothers, how long are they on hiatus? Like literally 2 years?
2 to 3 years, more or less, yeah.
Venture Brothers, it'll work because that show's still good. Boondocks like declined so hard. Yeah. It was like it aired like a thud. It was like, whoa.
Season 4 was a mistake. Everyone admits that.
Yeah, well, as someone who hasn't seen Boondocks, but like is kind of curious as to why it was bad. Like, why was it so bad? Why did it decline so bad? What was so different?
I think the problem with Boondocks is it was a comic and a cartoon that was for a specific time, and I think when its time was over, it didn't know how to adapt to it. Is what I remember. It's been a while. If anyone wants to say something different, who remembers it better, but
I only watched like the first season.
I mean, I was a huge fan of the comic strip, and the comic strip was really good. And right after 9/11, they were the only comic strip. Like everyone else, like, you know, just like ducked and like was super patriotic, and they were like the opposite, and it was like amazing. But then it like declined because he became such a celebrity, and I think all that went to his head from what I've heard from like rumors and such. But it just seems like the show had a similar fate where it got bigger and they kind of thought their shit don't stink. And then, you know, they left the bathroom and someone's like, whoa, light a match, buddy.
Well, the creator and a bunch of the writers left and went to make black cheeses, so they didn't work on season 4.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
You know?
Did some of the people also work on Black Dynamite?
I don't think so.
I think it's just Black Dynamite. I like the cartoon more than the movie it's based on.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah,
the movie's a good concept, but the show it's like lets them do a lot more. And but that show got kind of old after a while. I feel like
I only watched like 5 episodes.
No, it's kind of weird that the movie, the cartoon recycles a bunch of jokes from the movie itself.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they aired the movie once. That's how I saw it on Adult Swim. But I like it because I have seen a lot of blaxploitation. So I also wonder if you haven't seen blaxploitation, you might not be as into it because the context isn't really, you know, it doesn't you wouldn't understand the context or anything, you know.
I don't know, with the cartoon series, like I only know a bunch of the things that happen, like a bunch of the references, like Richard Pryor or whatever else.
Yeah.
Because I watched a bunch of VH1s that I love the 70s. It's like, oh, this is just like that.
I've wasted so many hours.
What?
On the I love the everythings. Like, it's so entertaining.
No, they used to be really good, those I love the things. But then they overdid it. They had like the third I love the 80s and stuff.
Yeah.
I stopped watching it when they started like doing the decade that we're currently in and haven't finished yet.
We were like in 2007, I believe, and they did I Love the New Millennium. So with the rest of the stuff that we haven't experienced yet, they just said, here's what we think will happen. Like, why did they do this? Why don't they just wait?
They kind of didn't understand what made the stuff so cool. It was half nostalgia. But then if they did, the other half was, oh, I didn't exist in this year or I was too little to remember it. What were the things that were popular? And the show would just tell you. Like, I learned so much about pop culture from when VH1 was a different network, from Where Are They Now and Behind the Music and stuff. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot about pop culture from that channel. But now it's reality shows and I don't know what is on that channel now.
I'm actually working on a script that is talking about like how television has changed from being niche markets to demographics, but like it's also kind of mixing in like the history of television, but I'm fibbing some parts. Like I'm basically describing television as a gift from God, as TV's rain from heaven, but only so I can get to the point of talking about how demographics changed.
Yeah. I mean, VH1 no longer does that I Love the Blank show. I mean, they tried bringing back Best Week Ever, which is kind of like that, but for the events of the past week, but that just vanished. Yeah,
that show kind of worked when it was like around in the 2000s, but no, they aired it at a really bad time, and so I think I was the only one who watched it. Like, I didn't remember it being that popular. But even The Soup just got canceled. The Soup ended, right?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That ended. So I think like that kind of stuff doesn't work because you have like people do that on the internet now. Like people make those in their home, like Philip DeFranco or whoever. They do that every day. So you can't really have a show based on that.
Yeah.
What's Joe McHale going to do? Community's over too. I'm worried about the guy now.
He's in the X-Files thing, the new X-Files thing. So he's good. He's good.
Okay, cool.
He's got a better career than he does weird stuff. Like he was in, what was it, Deliver Me from Evil? He's got a more eclectic filmography than people realize. It's just they don't put him in the poster because people would be like, Joel McHale's in this. I'm not seeing that, you know? But he's usually,
He was in the Spy Kids movie where they dropped the main two. I wound up watching Spy Kids, I think, 4 or 5, only because Joe McHale was in it.
Yeah, part 4.
Were those movies any good? I didn't see any Spy Kids.
Well, the 5th one wasn't, or 4th one.
No, okay, there was 4, and the first one was good. Like the later ones started becoming more gimmicky and just being more loud and in your face.
Well, 3 was just like 3D. Like the whole gimmick was they're in a video game and they get to throw things at the screen.
I mean, it was cool at the time.
The second one's gimmick was Steve Buscemi.
Oh, yeah, the second one, the one where he has
that was their gimmick. They had Steve Buscemi in that one.
Kids love Buscemi.
Of course.
Kids were like, Buscemi's in this? Mom, we have to go.
That was the one where he had that super philosophical quote, the one where he says,
"Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?"
And I thought, wow, that's the deepest shit ever. And it's from fucking Spy Kids to Island of Lost Dreams.
The coolest thing that Rodriguez did with the Spy Kids movies is he made sure that after they made the first one, they wanted to give the second one this huge budget, and he refused and made it cost the same as the first one. And so that's why there were so many, is because they didn't ever cost more than the first Spy Kids. The 3D one I think did, and the 4th one did, but not too much. So they always made, I think until the 4th one, they always made a lot of money because he budgeted them correctly.
Well, the problem with the 4th one was it's obviously they removed characters, brought in new people, and the weird subplot with Joe McHale was like he's a famous like TV show host that hunts spies, like he's a spy hunter, but then he's married to a spy and he doesn't know it. Like that was like the big like parent arc. I forgot what the kids things was.
Yeah. But the thing with Spy Kids 4, it didn't even feel like it was from the same people. Like, Robert Rodriguez directed it, but it doesn't have any of the... I don't know, it just feels like it's a straight-to-video sequel by some other people who don't give a shit about Spy Kids.
Well, Robert Rodriguez has gotten kind of shittier lately. I mean, Machete Kills wasn't as great, even. Like,
But
you know, he hasn't made a good movie since, like, Sin City. Oh, yes, Sin City 2. God.
no, what about Planet Terror? I like Planet Terror.
Yeah, but that was 10 years ago almost. That was 2007.
Yeah.
I mean,
2007.
it's like, yeah, like, he's not bad, but if you look at most of his filmography, it's not that great. And the stuff that was a while ago. I mean, I think he's cool. I actually think a lot of how he budgets his films and stuff, he's a really smart guy, but it's just been too long where, like, I feel like he's getting forgotten about, because if you're a kid who's getting into movies and they bring up El Mariachi or something, they'll look at the rest of his filmography and go, ugh, never mind.
Yeah.
But, you know, so...
I mean, hey, he has his own channel to fall back on that nobody
Yeah,
wants.
no, I mean,
YouTube channel or
No, a TV channel.
TV channel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
El Rey.
Do you get that channel?
Oh, I found out just a few days ago that I did. It's a very
Oh, it's
niche.
supposed to be cool.
Yeah, it's a very niche channel. Like, I'm surprised this is made today, but I just know it's gonna go the way of Sci-Fi Channel and just, I don't know, try to mainstream it up a bit. I don't know.
I hope it doesn't. But I do like, I mean, I grew up at the time where El Mariachi was the big independent movie that, like, this guy made this small movie and it became this big. And I like Desperado, and I grew up, I used to watch From Dusk Till Dawn every Halloween in the 90s. So I do actually like certain one of his movies a lot. It's just, I'm so disappointed with his recent stuff. That's all.
I mean,
but he's an
sounded like
interesting guy.
Well, because I watched I'm a really big fan of Death Proof and Planet Terror. Like Grindhouse, like I'm waiting for the second one, but it never came.
Good luck.
Do you call the theater every week? Go Grindhouse 2. Like, stop calling. Stop calling.
I really liked it like when I watched it. I thought it was awesome. I wasn't a kid, but you know what I mean.
I don't know how old were you when it came out, but getting drunk and watching that movie in the theater, it was one of the greatest pleasures of my life. Like, I
was not old enough to drink. No.
Oh, when I went to the bathroom, anytime I go to the bathroom, the clanks from beer bottles, because people just show up like with heavy coats, and it was like Easter weekend, and because they were just everyone was like, I'm gonna get drunk in the theater and see this shit. It was so much fun. I loved seeing that movie. But I can't get the cut that was in the theaters either, by the way.
No? Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh, wow.
But I watched the commentary that was on the DVDs, and like a lot of his like thoughts on like how he shot the movie was really like awesome. Like, he made sure that what was the name? What's the main character's name? It's been a while since I've seen it.
I forget.
Not Cherry. The other one. The main guy. El Rey, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Most likely.
But like how they shot him was to make him look really, really small, to symbolize that he's not the hero. And then like as soon as he like finally accepts what his role, they start shooting lower to make him more heroic. And it's just like little things like that. Little film theory was just really cool. It was my first like taste of how to tell stories just through camera. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's what I like about Planet Terror versus Death Proof is Death Proof tried to be like a real B movie, and Planet Terror is like what you thought a B movie would be from watching B movie trailers, and it's really cool. It's like, and I love Thanksgiving. I want that movie to happen so bad.
Oh, and also I think, was it Werewolf Women of the SS with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
I mean, Nicolas Cage would totally do that now.
What's funny is there were like 2 spin-offs of that, because Hobo with a Shotgun was the fan-submitted trailer, and then Machete became a franchise unto itself. So it actually got spin-offs, but I wish that had been successful. Anthology filmmaking has never really taken off, so maybe if Star Wars gets it to work, they'll do it. But they were going to have other directors, like 2 different directors, keep doing it, and one would come out every couple of years, but it didn't work out. So.
That sucks.
I mean, it's hard to sell one movie. You got to make and compiling them together. That's another issue. That's double the budget.
I mean, they've tried it with other movies. They wanted to make the Halloween franchise into an anthology thing after Halloween 3, and Halloween 3 was a bomb, so they went back on it, and every time they've tried, it doesn't work out. So that'll be interesting when, yeah.
I just remember Grindhouse being like one of my favorite movie experiences, like going to the theater. So like I would love to see that captured again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
No, it was so much fun. It was just like, and also that people who don't watch like a movie like Death Proof, like I love like Vanishing Point and stuff, but no one will ever watch that thing with me. And it's kind of fun seeing those movies and having people be excited and like, oh man, that was so much fun, and like kind of being turned on to that stuff was really cool.
Well, also, because I didn't have any prior knowledge. Like, I have a really bad habit of just going into movies without seeing trailers or even knowing anything about it, just by the name. Like, when I saw Juno, I thought it was a judo movie. Like, I thought it was judo.
Wait, what? Fucking...
I literally only... Yeah,
That's, that's the best joke of this whole podcast, Steph.
It's not a joke!
You're serious?
Okay. I didn't see a poster. I didn't see anything. I never saw the thing written down. One of my friends was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go see Juno," and I thought he said judo, and I'm like, "Sure, I'll go with you." And then I wound up watching this movie about a girl getting pregnant.
At what point during the movie did you realize it wasn't about judo?
Probably the opening credits.
No, but if you wanted to see a pregnant girl doing judo, you just have to see the Juno parody and disaster movie.
Speaking of pregnant women, going back to Spy Kids 4, like there's an opening sequence with the spy mom, and she's pregnant and she's doing all these acrobatics while pregnant. It's just really disturbing, and I think there's a clip of it on YouTube, and it has 1 million views, likely from a bunch of people who fetishize pregnant women.
Speaking of fetishes, going back through the SSS woman werewolf thing, I feel like that hits quite a lot of fetishes. The Grindhouse like trailer. That sounds tasteless.
It was very tasteless, but I forget who drew it. I think it was him. I could be entirely wrong.
Way to bring us down, Nolan.
Wow.
Yeah, brought the whole thing down. We were all up after that judo joke, and
Hey, listen, somebody had to balance out the humor here.
yeah.
We already have Fox News in the background.
Oh.
Listen, Bill O'Reilly is here to put us in the no spin zone. This podcast has to stay in the no spin zone.
Hey.
If Bernie Sanders wins, he's gonna leave the country. So
Is that what Bill O'Reilly said?
Is that what Bernie Sanders is going to do? He's going to win the presidency and leave the country? So, hey, speaking of news.
Oh yeah, news.
Oh yeah, that's
boy.
that was I think that was one of the longest intros we've ever done.
Yeah. This is like an anime intro that goes on way too long and gets cut up in the American version. All right, so news.
It's finally happening! The hype train. Time is dead and meaning has no meaning. Goes off the rails. Oh, this is bad. Mabel, come in, Mabel. Let's do this. As mayor, I strongly urge you to get on out of here.
This summer, I've seen some amazing things, but nothing as amazing as you and your sister.
Will you follow me?
To the ends of the earth.
Good, because that's where we're heading.
All aboard. Brand new Gravity Falls. Monday, October 26th at 8 on Disney XD.
Okay, so you guys know Alex Hirsch of Gravity Falls and how his show, Gravity Falls, fucking ended?
Ending.
It's going to end.
It's going to end because there's one episode left, I believe. But he's now moved on to better things, and he's going to Fox Animation.
How is that better?
Oh God.
When they say Fox Animation, does this mean a primetime show, or just he's developing something under their production company that they're going to sell to someone else? Or
Here's the thing, like, I don't know. So I remember I was reading like his Twitter thingies, and he said that someone said, "Please don't make a shitty sitcom like Family Guy." And he said, "When I went to Disney, there was nothing else like Gravity Falls on there, so you know." I mean, it's not. I mean, it's probably he's gonna develop something different, likely. You know.
Well, what's most likely is going to happen is just like every other creator that just got off a big name show. It's probably going to develop a pilot, and then we're never going to see it or hear from it. It's just going to be like shelved.
Oh.
Because it seems to be a very common thing with Fox. I know Dan Harmon also made a pilot or something.
If that's
I think it was Fox.
Dan Harmon makes a lot of pilots, so that's you know.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I thought the same thing. Like with animation, working on a pilot is a big commitment of time. So with live action though, it's kind of it's a lot easier. So they can make a couple in a year. But if he does that, that might waste his time when he has all this heat on him. He could go to like, you know, Cartoon Network, which would probably be the best place for him, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
I know. All I know is that like Disney really wanted to keep him.
Please don't go, Alex. Come on.
The problem with Disney is they at least understand the problem that any modern animation studio is you need these auteurs to stick around or you're kind of fucked, because we live in auteur animation time. And they should have tried to keep him, but maybe Fox.
They did. Don't get me wrong. From what I heard, because going back to my first appearance on the podcast, all I know is that Disney offered him anything he wanted. You know, like, hey, just do a show. And I remember him having interest in apparently, so like I'm actually shocked that he moved, because like there's actually like, you know, footage of him cleaning out his desk and everything. So like he's definitely gone from there, and I wonder if it might have been how the scheduling was treated. So I know that Disney never promoted the series. Like it's been known that this was the last season for a while.
Oh yeah,
and like Disney never wanted to announce it because I know that they wanted him to like change his mind. And I probably the only thing that stopped him from staying at Disney had to been scheduling, how they kept pushing off episodes and such.
Well, they don't promote things that well, because I watch Gravity Falls, but even when I watch Gravity Falls, like I was so unaware when the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon came on, and I was very unaware of when Wander Over Yonder came on. But like with someone like Cartoon Network, I know that I missed something. And even my DVR doesn't sometimes work for the Disney Channel. And I've heard that for other people, that the way they do their scheduling and move things to Disney XD at random, it's hard to even be a fan of the show because you might not know it's on for a couple months, which is ridiculous. So I kind of understand where he's coming from with that.
Speaking of that, there's a couple of like YouTubers that I'm subscribed to only so I know when TV shows air. Like
Really?
Black Nerd. Yeah, like Black Nerd Comedy, Andre. He's a cool guy. I met him at Indie PopCon, but like I mostly subscribe to his channel because that's when I know when Ninja Turtles airs.
Ouch.
I watch his reviews after, but it's usually like, oh sweet, he uploaded a video. Gotta go watch the episode now.
But that's like something that Disney Channel like needs to care a little bit more about, because I think with Gravity Falls and Wander Over Yonder, I was like, holy shit, Disney Channel animation is getting a lot better all of a sudden. But I haven't noticed a third show. Maybe there's one that I'm unaware of.
Star versus the Forces of Evil is a real.
Oh, god damn it. I can't believe I forgot that. Okay, sorry. Star versus the Forces of Evil continues that, but they need to keep that going, because I feel like Cartoon Network has like 4 or 5 shows that I think are really terrific, and Disney is doing that live action bullshit.
Also, from what I've heard, Disney's probably the least hands-on with the shows, which is pretty cool.
Really?
Like apparently not a lot of changes were made by Disney on Gravity Falls.
Or like the first of the weirdness, when what they do to that rich guy's face was nightmare fuel for a month. I mean, Jesus fuck.
Like
that was
the only changes they make have been stuff that would make it to where they couldn't like sell the syndication rights in other countries. So like, for example, Steven Universe gets away with a lot of homosexual content because 90% of their homosexual content can be easily changed by ad-libbing, changing the dialogue, or just changing the voice of a character. For example, Ruby and Sapphire's relationship, you can easily dub Ruby as a boy, and it's now a heterosexual relationship.
But that's not extremely offensive at all or anything.
No, but you know what I'm saying. Like that's the reason why so much of Steven Universe gets through what it is because it's all through dialogue. With Gravity Falls, there's like a lot of controversy with the transgendered, the Love God episode, where like he was supposed to have the transgendered symbol, but that was edited to be male and female. There's supposed to be a lesbian couple, but they were edited into a old regular couple instead of old lesbians because old lesbians aren't like the most adorable thing ever. And that was because it's a visual thing. And they wouldn't be able to sell it to like, I don't know what other countries have those, but it would hurt the chances of that show airing and they lose money from the long run.
Yeah, because a lot of the cartoons rely on overseas distribution. Like, they can't just make their money off just airing in America. They got to branch out to other countries and dub it and stuff. Which I wonder if, like, anime kind of has that problem. Like, I don't know how well anime does in other countries, but in America, it barely, I don't know, airs on, like, Cartoon Network at night, and that's about it.
Well, as big as anime conventions are, and like how loud anime fans could be on websites,
they pirate their stuff. They don't buy it.
Yeah.
Well, no. They're just a really small niche. Like out of like mainstream stuff and everything, anime is a really, really small and dying industry in America.
No.
It's not as big as it was back when we were like what 2001-ish area. And I mean, with that, there's no real big hit on TV, and the only ones that you could think of are like what airs at 1 o'clock in the morning on Adult Swim on Saturdays.
Hey, we got Yokai Watch on Disney XD. I heard that was good.
Oh, that should have been called
like
Ghost
One Punch Man. That's on Hulu.
Yeah,
Hulu. Oh well, we're fucked.
Oh, good. 12 people saw it.
Oh.
Well, I think a lot of people watch One Punch Man. I mean, it's gotten pretty big.
Not on Hulu.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's you can watch it for free. Oh, okay. I like.
That's where I
noticed
it.
Go to hell, Nolan.
Netflix is getting more interested. Like Netflix has kind of hit a anime like trend. They have like 3 they dubbed, I think, or at least bought the rights because it's a Netflix original apparently.
Glitter Force.
Yeah, there's a Netflix anime.
The 7 Deadly Sins.
Something like that.
And Glitter Force.
One thing I'm questioning, though, is like back in the 90s, like Batman and Animaniacs, they all used to be animated at like Japanese studios like TMS. And I mean, did it just get too expensive to do that? Because
we're still animating. Oh, okay. So there's like 2 types of shows when it comes to cartoons now. You have Canadian or locally animated animation. Those are usually done with Toon Boom or Flash.
Or Korea.
A lot of it's going to Canada because Canada's dollar keeps dropping. I think it's like now like 50 cents to our dollar. Like you literally double your money if you go buy stuff in Canada. So
I need to go to Canada.
I only know that because I worked on a series that was produced in Canada. That sucked. Like I was like, oh cool, so much money per second of animation, sweet. Oh, it gets halved when it gets transferred over into U.S. dollars. Oh, the government takes a third. Oh, I didn't make anything off this. But so like a lot of production is going to go to Canada. That's the beauty. If you live in Canada and you want to be an animator, there's going to be jobs.
No, they're doing the Lego Movie 2 is being produced in Toronto, I believe.
Yeah. Well, again, it's half the cost, like literally. And then the other half of animation is stuff that's done in Korea, as usual. You know,
the funny thing about oh wait, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say that's the stuff that looks like hand drawn.
Yeah. But the thing about Canadian animation is doesn't like the government actually want to pitch in and help it fund Canadian television products?
I know that at least Xiaolin Showdown came back, like Xiaolin Chronicles, whatever it's called. I got really excited about it, and then they like replaced all the voices because Canadian law has if the cartoon's produced, or at least the production's produced in Canada, it has to be done by all Canadian actors unless the role can be proven to only be done by one person that's outside of the nationality.
I mean,
so aside from Tara Strong, all of them got replaced.
Yeah, Tara Strong has dual citizenship.
Yeah,
Jennifer Hale was Kat Nappe. And she's Kimiko now. Well, she was Kimiko because Chronicles tanked.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the creators tried to have a Kickstarter for a comic book series, but they canceled the Kickstarter because nobody knew it existed.
No, they canceled it because of the, I think the Paris attacks, and then they were like, we're going to restart it later in 2016. No, but yeah, the problem. I think the problem with Chronicles was that it was too much like a George Lucas type deal, where it was like the creator Chris G. Huey just had so much control over it because that also aired on Disney XD. And if what you said is true about like how they like have a more hands-off approach on it, then her ideas were fucking batshit crazy.
Well, that wasn't a Disney production, though, I don't think, especially since it was produced in Canada. So I think that's less of that. I think a lot of the issues are probably they had a lot of like, okay, so they owned the trademark of some names. They owned the rights to some characters, but other things they didn't. Like either they got shuffled around the trademarks or something, so certain items got called something else.
Yeah.
They added a Cousin Oliver character with Ping Pong or whatever his name was, and then they added awkward CG moments because
I think it's cheaper.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, cheaper to do action scenes if the characters are rotating around. Yeah. CG.
Yeah. But there wasn't a reason for it.
No.
Like story wise, I mean, like yeah, they're doing the Xiaolin Showdown, so like there was a distinct reason why they did it, but like compared to the old show, it didn't feel like if they upgraded the Xiaolin Showdown items or something, to where they made it something super, and that made it more intense. I feel like would have been better. I could have swallowed it better, but
I mean, maybe if they went in a completely different art style, like you know how like Ninja Turtle reboots are totally different from one another. Like if they gone with that.
No, it was about the same art style. They did, however, change the
do something different.
Oh, okay, yeah, totally, yeah. Reboot it, not like soft revive it.
Yeah, we don't know. It's like the Hulk 2003 versus 2008. Like, is it a reboot, a sequel? What is this?
Yeah, like because it continued the story, but things were changed, and also the dragon was a different color. That was weird.
Yeah,
that was another problem. Was that they didn't decide whether or not to just go full reboot because like you said, I think WB still owned the rights to like the Shingon Wu names, so that they had to rename those, and then that had to be changed. And it was just a huge mess of like half thought out ideas and all this other shit. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Here's the catch 2020. If you would have rebooted it and called it something else, well, they call it something else, but you know, like if they rebooted it, changed the art style and all that, you would have had like a dozen fans be like, "This isn't the show I grew up with. This is different. It's bad. I don't like change."
Well, okay, but now we have like a sort of weird soft reboot where nobody's happy, because I know a friend who watched Xiaolin Chronicles and they're like, this is awful. They hated it and they grew up with Xiaolin Showdown.
Blame the fans.
Yeah, it's just a jarring mess.
Well, no, I don't think necessarily blame the fans, because like
no, I'm not. I was joking. I laughed afterwards. That one's just from a production standpoint. They I don't think they like this. They didn't sit back and assess the situation well enough.
Well, yeah, but I don't know, that that teaser they released was really good and it looked awesome, and then like the show came out and like Chase Young like has an egg that he came out of him, and then he was raising it like a mom, and it was just like, what the fuck is this?
Well, like then the ping pong kind of bothered me because it's like, why did we need another Omni? You know,
Omni.
like
you mean Omi?
Omi? Oh man, I'm
fuck up,
fucking normie.
Like I think what they did was they were trying to like, Omi is got like better, you know, he's now like he's not the newbie anymore, so they needed another character to keep that dynamic. But
then why make him Omi again?
Yeah, they should have gone with like I remember when they went to New York, there was that one kid, I don't know, like could have joined them, but no, some kid, a black character. They could have had a black character, but no.
Jermaine?
We got another yellow character.
Yeah, they have a racist stereotype yellow character. They have an Asian. They have different. They have the traditional stereotype Asian. Then you have the smart gadget person Asian, and then you have Raymundo, which was I'm going to say Mexican. Was it Cuban?
Yeah, he was like Puerto Rican.
He was Brazilian.
Brazilian. There you go.
Oh yeah, they hired Tom Kenny. Like they just hired Tom Kenny to do like Mexican, Hispanic or Latino characters like Eduardo or Raymundo.
Are you talking about Eduardo from Extreme? No, wait, never mind.
Fosters.
Extreme Foster's Home for Extreme.
I was thinking of Extreme Ghostbusters. Did anyone ever watch that show? Sweet. That was my jam.
You're gonna call.
I've heard a lot of defenders of that recently.
It's a good show. I mean,
whoa, wow. Calm down. I didn't even say what I thought of it. You were just like, I've heard a lot of defenders just like, shut the fuck up. I will eat your soul.
Extreme Ghostbusters starring the Burger King Kids Club as Ghostbusters.
Ooh, that was the criticism at the time, actually.
Yeah.
Everyone said, why is the Burger King Kids Club fighting ghosts?
I mean, like,
one person.
Okay, in Extreme Ghostbusters, there's a kid in a wheelchair, but I'm not to discriminate, but I think you're going to need your legs if you're going to be fighting ghosts that could, kill you.
Actually, the coolest thing was they used, so they're like, all right, we need the original Ghostbusters, like 3 white guys, and then occasionally they decided to add the black guy in like all the merch.
Who's not even in the video games.
Yeah, never. I'm actually on the Spriters resource. You can find Winston sprites for some of the games. Me and my friend David were like, fuck it. If Sega's going to be racist, we're going to make sprites for them. So if anyone wants to make fan games with Winston, you can.
Winston needs all the help he can get after being in Dragon Ball Evolution.
In the game, the third movie, technically, the video game.
Oh, yeah, the 3D one.
Yeah, they were like, hey, Winston, you get a PhD now. So he went back for like history or something because he was like, I'm hanging out with a bunch of smart guys. I'm gonna be educated. It was cool. Like they gave him a character arc.
Yeah,
I always liked that he was just the guy who he was like I need a job. You guys will give me a job. I'll do it. I kind of like he was the working class guy.
Yeah,
because he comes in the movie like they're already established as the Ghostbusters, like So I always liked Ernie Hudson.
I mean, they asked him like, "Hey, do you believe in ghosts in the movie?" And he just says, "If you pay me, yes."
Yeah, I like that. It's like, I'll believe what you want me to believe.
But so they were like adding a bunch of people in there, and they're like, "All right, let's give a guy with a wheelchair, but like he's the one that like shoots first." Like he's the one that just runs into it no matter what.
So and he's like the Greedo character.
And does he get shot? Like every episode, he just barges into like a room, like a SWAT team, but he's the only one, and the ghosts just kill him instantly.
Well, that's why they can't take him to the movie theater anymore.
What the fuck, Jim?
Sorry.
Moving back, just going back.
There hasn't been a theater shooting in a while. It's okay.
But moving back, well, one thing was they did demobilize him once. There was a Jersey Devil that like shot like this breath that like made everything rust. So immediately he lost his wheelchair. But he did get a wooden one in the same episode. Like they went to like an old museum, like a history museum, and just stole it.
You think he built cybernetic legs or something?
But Extreme Ghostbusters also brought us Kylie Griffin.
Yay!
A goth girl, which was one of my first crushes, and she wears football armor.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, what's with the football armor?
Well, she's a delicate little pale girl. The sun hurts.
Oh yeah, but
ghost hurt.
Here's an idea I have for that wheelchair kid. Here's what a ghost should do. Like he should cooperate with maybe I don't know, a Slimer and say, "Hey Slimer, possess my legs so I can walk."
Oh man, and I thought my theater thing was offensive.
Speaking of, if we're starting making fun of handicapped people.
Whoa. I like this stuff. No. Here, I've got a couple good cripple jokes.
It's not as bad as it sounds. Gareth was his name. He was the only Ghostbuster to not get an actual toy. Like, instead, they just replaced him with Egon, who was also in the show. Though there is a prototype, and he comes with a fucking tank. The only reason he didn't get made was because he would have cost too much in plastic. But they're just like, they just kind of Professor Xavier'd him to where like he had like a proton pack turret. But I had a Professor Xavier toy from the X-Men movie. I don't know why. I'm not a big X-Men person, but I have one. I guess my mom bought it for me. But they actually crippled the toy. They didn't screw in his joints well enough, so like he can't stand up. He literally falls over every time.
Oh, fuck.
Wow. Man, I think you might need to. I think we can sit down.
I think we broke Pan.
Yeah.
That's like the toy makers were like, no, let's be real. That motherfucker's not fun.
remember the first thing I did was I picked him up and I tried to stand him, and he just immediately.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That is. You know what? That's some. That they really put the real in the real Ghostbusters right then.
No. That was an X-Men toy. That wasn't real Ghostbusters.
Oh, it was an X-Men toy.
That was Professor Xavier.
Oh God!
See, I don't even know why Professor Xavier did lose the use of his legs, because I've seen it rebooted and done so many different ways that I honestly forget how it really happened, like in the original. The first one, because I think they explained it in an old X-Men comic, but then they changed it to Magneto did it, or I don't know. Who knows?
Like in the Days of Future Past, apparently it's like his powers or something, because he can either be someone who can read people's minds or he can walk. That's his two options.
Oh yeah, that in the movie. Yeah, I remember. That was like, I was kind of like, well, you read people's minds, dude. What the fuck's your deal? Like, and he wasn't even walking anywhere. He was staying in that house. Like, what a waste.
Also, hair. So, like, he got two choices. He got to read people's minds, or he got hair and got to walk. That was the two.
What a materialistic poser. That's what I have to say. Thanks a lot.
Well, I think he had guilt. That's why he started opening up a school for wayward children.
Oh yeah, and then they all went to Vietnam or something. I forgot. Yeah. I forgot about it.
Hey, Pan, you okay?
Yeah.
Did you have to leave the room? You know, wait. I just came up with another one. It's not Extreme Ghostbusters. I'm going to be like, that's a little too extreme.
Oh.
That wasn't great. I apologize.
The cool thing was Garrett was voiced by Max Goof.
Oh, yeah.
From a Goofy movie.
Oh.
Gorsh.
And then Eduardo, which was the Peter Vickman character. I think he was voiced by the guy who did like the first 3 episodes of Sailor Moon as Tuxedo Mask, or Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man with the Mexican accent.
What Spider-Man?
Spider-Man Unlimited.
Oh, that happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man Unlimited with 13 episodes.
And then Kylie Griffin, which, by the way, I bought the Ghostbusters board game exclusively from the Kickstarter because it came with the Kylie Griffin figure. That's how much I care.
Wow.
She comes with a black cat, okay? But she's voiced by Tara Strong.
Yeah.
So, Raven.
Yeah.
Just like if Raven had a new...
I can't find like any DVD rips of that show. Like it's hard to find.
It doesn't exist.
I know. I think it's like Europe or Germany.
No, Australia.
They might be waiting for the movie in the summer. They're probably going to put both the movies on Netflix and put the shows somewhere, or the first show, and I bet Extreme will be up there too.
For whatever reason, they don't like to. They've already released like because they released the original show within like the firehouse. Like it's like that's where you just store the DVDs and such. It's pretty awesome, but for whatever reason, Extreme Ghostbusters is kind of the neglected like stepchild of that franchise.
When was that series on?
1996.
That's I think when the problem probably is the people who are nostalgic for the first show didn't watch the second one. So since the people who watched the first show have more buying power, they're probably not going to do Extreme Ghostbusters as quickly.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, that's the real boring. That's the boring corporate reason, but it's probably true.
Oh yeah. So you want to get
what other news?
The next news. Hang on.
We're still on the news?
Yeah, we're fucked. We could
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh wait, I have a question before we get into the news. Because no one brought it up. Pan, so you saw Star Wars, right?
Yeah, it was amazing.
In 5 days, the wait is over. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, rated PG-13.
This has been killing me. What did you think of Kylo Renn?
Oh, I love that. I love the idea for a character. He's just, well, I guess spoilers for Star Wars.
Skip to 52 minutes, 45 seconds. 52 minutes, 45 seconds.
But he's just this fucking wimp that's put in a position of power because he wants to grow stronger even though he's a fucking wimp. And I just like that conflict idea.
Actually, when I left the movie with some people were like, I don't like that he's like insecure. And I was like, really? I love that. I think it's awesome that he's like, he destroys his computer when he gets all upset.
It's like, yeah, we're not, those stormtroopers that come along, it's like, yeah, we're not dealing with this shit.
Oh, that was really funny. They're like,
but Saturday Night Live, like they got the actor who played Kylo Ren, and they did a skit of undercover boss as Kylo Ren.
Yeah, I saw some of it. I need to watch it. It was really funny.
Yeah, I'll link it below. But yeah, like, I don't know. There's a lot of people who just don't understand Kylo Ren's character. Like, how come he's not like... This is why the prequels were better. The villains were a lot cooler, like Grievous.
Fuck those people.
Grievous,
fuck those people.
Didn't do shit. He was just like...
No.
He looked cool, but didn't do anything.
Well, the best thing about Kylo Ren is he's the most complex character of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because he's like you're not sure if he doesn't know, he's upset and he doesn't know who he is, and the only thing that's funny is when he takes off his mask and his hair is perfectly permed. It's like he takes off and goes, "Hi, how's it going, Kylo Ren?" Hair's perfect.
And like when Han Solo's talking to them, he says, "Kylo, take off that helmet. You don't need it."
Yeah, that was funny because I saw it 3 times, and the third time I realized like that's such a calling him on how much of a poser he is. Go, you don't need that shit. Vader needed a mask. Like Vader got all his limbs cut off, had trouble breathing. Like he had serious problems where he needed a suit. You are just wearing it for fashion reasons. Like that's the ultimate poser hipster thing to do. Is like he has no reason to have that mask. Maybe he does now because he got slashed in the face and shit.
Yeah.
But like before he doesn't. He has no reason to have it.
I still haven't seen Star Wars.
Oh well.
Oh
Shit! Darn.
Dang it.
Sorry, Nolan.
But yeah, Star Wars. Force Awakenings, like I love it. Like I kind of consider it a fan film, but the thing about like how it reflects like the first like episodes 4 and 5. I mean, it pretty much feels like that's just a backdrop for the characters because they're not directly involved in like the destruction of the new Death Star and such. The final battle is just about the characters.
No, well, I guess Poe is. Well, I think the final part is, but that's kind of why the base. We're really ruining this for Nolan. Sorry, Nolan. That's why the base doesn't matter as much as it does in the original Star Wars because it's more about the fight with Kylo than it is about destroying the base. You know.
I mean,
I like that part, but I don't like the Star Killer base kind of bugs me. I kind of wish they hadn't done the Death Star again.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a big introduction for, I guess, a new generation of Star Wars kids.
No, it did a great job of like making you excited for the Star Wars again and getting everyone excited, and it did what Disney wanted it to do. So it succeeded in that.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of kids who say that the original Star Wars movies were just boring and they can't watch it. So I guess this is why Disney wanted to like sort of pay homage to to the original series like that.
I guess when people tell me the originals are boring, they always put in, so that's why I like the prequels more. I go, the prequels are far more boring than it's just that people get weird about old movies. There's actually, I've heard of, there's a disease where a mental disorder where people can't watch old movies because they think they're dusty.
What?
No, this is a real thing. I'm not messing. I heard it. Billy Bob Thornton talked about it, that he can't eat and watch an old movie because he feels like dust will get in his food, and that's like a real thing.
I had water in my mouth, so I wanted to spit it, but
but no, there are people who like don't.
Way to half commit to a joke, asshole.
Will not watch old movies because they like think they're like, oh, I don't understand the context or what it was like then, and I always think that's weird because it's a movie about people in space. So on other planets, it's not, but anyway.
I mean, people always cite the prequels as, but they have such good choreography in the lightsaber scenes. I'm like, no, they don't.
Well, the Darth Maul fight is, I will go to bat for it, but the rest of it I think is bad. But the Darth Maul fight was really well done, but it's because Ray Park is an amazing... has amazing physicality to when he fights. Like, he's really good. He's a fight choreographer, and they were going to have someone else play Darth Maul, and then they went, wait, you're like really good at this. But then he didn't have a subsequent career because he just did Toad in that X-Men movie, and now he's Snake Eyes in the G.I. Joe movies. But he's very talented, but it's kind of the problem with him fighting Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, is neither of them are as well trained in martial arts as Ray Park. So I think you know, the thing with those fights is they're really cool looking, but emotionally they mean diddly squat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think more about the Empire and the Jedi, the Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi lightsaber fights, because those are emotional. And same with Force Awakens, that's emotional, you know?
Yeah.
And it has to be like action sequences. It's like a musical because each big set piece has to mean something to you as an audience. And to bring this back to Force Awakens, that's why the Starkiller Base thing means nothing, because emotionally you're like, I mean, that's cool, but I really care about this thing, and you have to get it to connect. Otherwise, you're just like, it's just explosions for explosion's sake. You have to get that explosion to mean something, you know. Sorry, that was a long rant.
No, but yeah, no, I was gonna say like, there's this one scene in episode 3 where Anakin and Obi-Wan just twirl their lightsabers around for like 5 seconds straight, and then they hit each other, and that's just, I feel like that just kind of sums up the prequel choreography in general. Yeah. They just twirl around their lightsabers a lot, then they hit, and then they'll just go back to twirling around a lot, and then maybe throw in some lightning or something else, and it's
that's the problem with the prequels, is the Jedis were too powerful. And also episode 2 and 3, Ray Park I think only worked on the first one, so after he left they got way too I don't know, lightsaber happy. And like, it's kind of like, I posted on my Tumblr a video of like one of the end fights where they fight in the Jedi Council, and it's like so ridiculous. Like, how did we even, people actually thought episode 3 was good when it came out. Like, that's, I'm not joking. Like,
episode what?
3.
Episode 3. It got great reviews. Like, the New York Times said it was just as good of a Star Wars movie. It's the best Star Wars movie since Empire. And try watching episode 3 now and telling me that movie's anywhere close to Return of the Jedi. It's just a shit show. It's so awful. Like, because they didn't pace anything well, and the lightsaber scenes. Anyway, I'm sorry. We've gone on a really long Star Wars tangent.
No, I can go on Star Wars all day.
I just wanted to. It had been bugging me since I saw Star Wars. I was like, I bet Pam likes Kylo Ren. That's like, it kept bugging me. I wanted to ask.
Edgelord. But like, I don't know. I was watching episode 1 and recently it's like, wow, this is so fucking boring. Like the opening scene is just like people trying to land the ship into some satellite or something, and then they go in. And then they just walk into a room and they sit down and have a drink. And then something explodes and stuff finally happens. Like, it's just like, what was this build up even for? It was nothing.
But then the original 77 Star Wars, it starts with all this booming music and the Star Destroyer shooting this other spaceship. And, you know, all these, you know, there's the stormtroopers fight the rebels. It's like all this exciting stuff happens, right? It like really... When I rewatched the original recently, I was like, man, this movie really like goes in and is like explosive. And no wonder people, knowing more about the 70s now, no wonder people just were flipping the fuck out for that movie, because it's really nothing like anything that was coming out at the time.
Yeah. I mean, like the prequels are just like, why is there so much of this politics crap? Like, I don't want to deal with this. No one cares. And George Lucas keeps saying, no, these were for kids. Even though, like, I don't know what kid wants to listen to all this shit.
I mean, he tried to explain. Apparently, if you worked with him, if you asked him any question about the prequels, he would answer it, and you'd be like, "Oh, that kind of makes like the metachlorines thing." Apparently, it's to show that they used to have technology for Jedis, and that was destroyed by the Empire coming and stuff. And I was like, "That's a good explanation, but that thing is still dumb as shit." Yeah. I mean. So I think it actually was in that article I sent you about that show that they made and got shelved completely.
Yeah, what's it called? Star Wars Detours.
Oh, Detour. Yeah.
Okay, basically what this was, it was like a CGI, I think, TV show about Star Wars. Like, it's a bunch of skits, and it kind of...
It was by the Robot Chicken people, right?
Yeah, like Seth Green is on there and stuff, but George Lucas confirmed they had 26 episodes done, but they've never been released. There's just this one trailer, but...
They have a whole season 1 is done, and I think half of season 2.
Yeah, but
like that extreme, and it's in a vault, and no one's seen it.
Yeah, but here's what I've heard is that Disney wants to control what a new generation of Star Wars fans will see. So this thing, they don't know who to market to. It looks like it's for kids, but it relies on a bunch of references and in jokes on movies from before they were probably born. So it's like, who is this for? And also, they just want like Force Awakens and I guess Star Wars Rebels on Disney XD and the Battlefront games to be kids' first exposure to Star Wars. I mean, I don't think any of those even reference like the prequels. Except maybe Rebels.
No, they only referenced the prequels once or maybe twice in Force Awakens when they mentioned the Sith, and then when you can hear Ewan McGregor dubbed a line in during the dream sequence, the crazy lightsaber sequence. But other than that, and you can barely hear that. So, but it's also the thing with not referencing the prequels in Force Awakens makes sense because in Star Wars time, it's literally been 60 years since the prequels. So we don't talk about, it's not like we talk about what happened 60 years ago every day now. So, but yeah, I mean, I understand. It makes sense. It sucks for if you worked on a show and they're like, what happened to it? And they go, oh, it's in a vault somewhere and it might never come out. I mean, I bet it will because people just love Star Wars, but I don't think it's going to happen until the movies are more cemented in people's minds.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, this is Star Wars for a new generation.
I mean, in all the marketing, they really favored John Boyega and Daisy Ridley and all the new people more than Han Solo and Carrie Fisher and all that stuff. So,
yeah. But we all know the real star is BB-8.
No, BB-8's the fucking man.
I'm gonna fuck that thing.
BB-8's cool. I guess I don't know who my favorite is, but it's a fun movie. It was cool having fun at the movies and having the public be into it.
Wasn't your review more negative, Jim? I recall your review being negative.
It was. Well, I have mixed feelings because I think my problem with it is that Star Wars was all these influences, particularly Kurosawa with Hidden Fortress and stuff. And my problem with the new one is that its big reference is Star Wars. And it doesn't, I don't think J.J. Abrams sat down and watched Hidden Fortress or thought about Kurosawa and John Ford. I think he thought about, man, Star Wars is awesome. And it's good for that. And when I shot the review, I'd only seen it once, but now my memories are of seeing it I took my family when I went to Baltimore, and then I took my wife's family to see it also. And it's like, yeah, I got to have a good time at the movies. And I think I'm more positive about it, and I like that people are excited, but I'm not going to act like it's a perfect movie. And I know the problems with it. And it did make me think J.J. Abrams is kind of a hack because it's like, you've remade New Hope twice now? Motherfucker, get a new influence. Like, watch a different movie. Come on, man. Don't do it twice. And apparently Disney was well aware he was doing this, and he kind of got kicked off of all the other Star Wars stuff. Like, he was going to be the George Lucas of the new trilogy, and Disney firmly went, no, I don't think so.
Fuck out. Yeah,
it was basically like, you're an executive producer, which means you can show up for a few meetings, but that's about it. Because they recognized what he was doing it's fine for a first movie, but it's like what Paramount should have done with Star Trek and been like, you do not need to come back again, though. You can introduce us to this, but like he relies too much on nostalgia and, but I still have fun with it. I can watch a movie I have problems with, and I guess Force Awakens is an example,
Yeah. I mean, people are like overly analyzing, like, this isn't as epic as the prequels. This isn't like
a lot of people are saying at least the prequels did something different. And I'm like, I hate that argument because that's like saying that's like when people are like, we should respect original filmmaking and original stories. And then they'll bring that up when Jupiter is sending bombs. And I'm like, maybe I think what they're saying, the idea that something original is therefore better just because it's original is stupid, because that doesn't make something better just because it's a new crazy idea and not a sequel.
If it's executed well, that's what matters.
Yeah.
I mean, people watch Avatar even though it's the same shit as a bunch of other movies.
The thing is, a lot of filmmaking and storytelling is execution. It's not that it's a wholly original idea. So, But yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, oh, crap. Well, I just wanted to get this news report out of the way.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
A forbidden world has just been opened to a lucky chosen one.
The panda?
That's the panda. He's a little too big. and too clumsy. But Poe is about to prove she's just what they needed.
Work hard, Panda. Maybe someday you will have ears like mine.
Jack Black, DreamWorks, Kung Fu Panda, rated PG.
But hey, Kung Fu Panda. Yeah, that got into a lawsuit recently. Back in 2011, some guy claimed that DreamWorks stole his idea for Kung Fu Panda, because back in the year 2000, he pitched to them this idea for a movie about a martial arts panda, which he has the designs for. Although it came out recently that these designs were stolen from a Disney coloring book 5 years before he pitched his idea.
Oh my god.
And,
what?
Yeah, I'll link the news report in the description, but like, DreamWorks spent, was it $3 million trying to defend themselves from this lawsuit they could have lost. Somehow they just found this coloring book. It's like, hey, this is just like this. So good on them for finding a coloring book that happened to have the art that he stole, that he pitched with.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, but if this guy's convicted, he will be sentenced to 25 years in federal prison.
Well, yeah, that's fraud. I mean,
yeah,
that's fucking fraud. Like,
this is what we like to call hubris.
He almost got away with it.
He flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
And his wings melted.
Damn.
Well, he sounds too lazy to have flown too close to the sun, but he thought about flying too close to the sun, and that was his problem.
I don't know. I guess he saw DreamWorks. I don't know. He just saw like a Kung Fu Panda trailer on TV and just saw a coloring book on the floor. He's like, huh. Hey, there's a panda in this. I can use this.
Oh my god.
Dick. Yeah.
You think he might have like someone should have pointed him to WoW?
WoW?
Yeah, World of Warcraft, apparently they had like a Pandora thing where they had Kung Fu Pandas running around there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the new expansion for World of Warcraft with panda Kung Fu fighters for some reason. What's this link?
Yeah, so I mean, like, if he didn't get found out by the coloring book, he could have had another case. It would have been great. We could have seen like a reoccurring thing. It would have been amazing.
Exhibit A coloring book from Disney. Okay, so you guys want to get into the questions?
Okay. I was going to ask you about the Oscars.
Okay, ask about the Oscars, Jim.
Oh, what did you guys think of the animation nomination?
I don't watch the Oscars.
I don't watch
No, it didn't. Oh, no, I mean, just the nominations came out for Best Animated Feature, and there was a surprise.
Is Back to Hell on there?
Oh, no. From Hell and Back?
Hell and Back, yeah.
No, it was, it was Inside Out, Anomalisa, Shaun the Sheep movie, and then When Marnie Was There. But the surprise, when Marnie was there, was a bit of a surprise. But this Brazilian animated film called Boy in the World, and everyone thought Good Dinosaur was going to get nominated, but it didn't. And Good Dinosaur is actually the third Pixar movie not to get nominated, and the first original Pixar movie not to get nominated since the category started, because the other two are Cars 2 and Monsters University. So, but I saw Boy in the World, and it's interesting, but it's cool that they picked a really obscure movie
I can't wait for Inside Out to win.
No, Inside Out's gonna probably win. But anyway, sorry, I just wanted to mention that was kind of it was the first time a Brazilian animated film's been nominated.
Which is cool, but on the other hand, Inside Out is going to win.
No, it is. I mean, that movie's just happy it's getting the exposure of being nominated. They've done that with like Cat in Paris and Ernest and Celestine. It's like a movie that now will get, when it gets released on DVD, will get a nice display at Best Buy when it comes out, which normally it probably wouldn't even get a DVD release. In America, at least. Sorry. Anyway, I keep deriding the whole podcast.
Oh, yeah. No, I want to make a little note about Good Dinosaur. A friend of mine had it on, like, had a less than legit copy of it on his flash drive, and, like, let me have the flash drive. And so I'm sitting with this movie, and I have yet to, like, actually put it in. Like, I like yesterday, I was like, I have nothing to do. I should pop in something. And I wound up looking at Netflix instead of this movie, and it's like, I don't know why, but there's just nothing like driving me to want to go see it.
Well, it's not it's good, but it's not as good as Inside Out, And I did notice the morning of the Oscar nominations, when Good Dinosaur wasn't nominated, in all the coverage, there was like a sentence about how, of course, Good Dinosaur didn't get nominated. It's as good as someone pooping on a stick and acting like it's a movie or something. It was just like they went way too far to like just talk shit about Good Dinosaur. I was like, guys, like, let's calm down a little bit. Like, it wasn't, I don't think it was as good as Inside Out, and it's not their best by any means, but it wasn't an awful movie. I mean, it was better than Home, and people were more, there was nothing mean about Home written when that happened.
No one gave a shit about Home.
No, it did. But I did learn, DreamWorks is actually the most nominated studio, not Pixar. Pixar has 10 in total, and DreamWorks has 11. So as of right now, even though Pixar has won the most times, I think they won like 8 times, but DreamWorks has been nominated more.
Well, I think that's only because DreamWorks has been around longer.
And they've shoved out more movies per year.
Yeah. I think they've gotten nominated twice a couple times.
Also, I've probably mentioned this on the podcast before, but I just really want to talk about it because we haven't heard anything about the DreamWorks Captain Underpants adaptation. And
that's true, yeah.
And the last we heard about it was that Kevin Hart was going to be on it. I think Ed Helms, maybe.
Well, who's the? I don't know anything about Captain Underpants. So who's doing the main voice?
The story is about 2 kids, George and Harold, and they're like, our principal is a fucking asshole, so let's get this hypno ring, and we'll hypnotize him, and we'll make him just do stupid shit. And then they hypnotize him, and then they trick him into thinking he's the superhero they made in their comics, Captain Underpants. And these 2 kids, these 10-year-olds, are going to be voiced by 2 of comedy's greatest titans. Hold on, let me pull this up.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
Hey, Kevin Hart beat Star Wars at the box office this week.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Who's Kevin Hart?
You know what
is it the bunny? Is that the bunny in the new
he's the bunny in the Secret Life. But you know what I realized? This is the every weekend, because John Boyega is one of the leads in Star Wars, and Ride Along stars Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. Every movie that's been #1 at the box office in 2016 has had a black lead. So that's semi-progress if you're feeling down about...
And not one of them are nominated.
No. Well, come on. Let's not go too far.
Okay, so Ed Helms is Captain Underpants. I've heard negative things about him. I haven't seen anything he's in, but
most of his movies are bad. He hasn't made too many good ones.
So basically, he's box office poison.
Well, the Hangover movies do well. I mean, I don't.
Or critical reception poison.
Boring. Let's go into the next news. HASBRO.
No.
So HASBRO has promised a theatrical crossover like the Avengers, but with their own properties, starring G.I. Joe, Micronauts, Visionaries, Mask, and Rom.
Boring. Next news.
Yeah, boring. No one gives a shit about those other 4 properties.
Yeah, no, like if it was like G.I. Joe, Transformers, and the Gem movie, I would have been down.
Gem movie, yeah. Good luck with that.
They could just be like, they can just go to a restaurant and Gem and the holograms are the waitresses, and they'll be like, "Hey, are you guys a band?" And go, "We were. Now we work here."
By the way, you guys failed to mention that apparently Kesha is one of the misfits at the end of the movie.
That happens. Pan mentioned
the post-credit sequence.
I don't remember him mentioning Kesha.
I'm surprised Pan stuck around for those credits, because I was like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving.
I want to just stop.
Oh, I want to give you a spoiler-free review.
That's like you mentioned the people are there. It's not spoiler-free.
Well, it was a surprise to me. It's like, what? Like, in case someone wants to see it, like, they'll be surprised. Like, oh, a pleasant surprise from this shit film,
Well, you could have spent there's a Marvel style post end credits that would have been enough. Like telling us it's the Misfits to kind of like it doesn't matter. But can we talk about how Kesha is like the ideal perfect candidate for that role? That's amazing.
What I want to actually, you're right, but why did they not get Glenn Danzig and the real Misfits to play the Misfits? That's what I wanted. I wanted Glenn Danzig to be like, I hate Jem. I hate her.
They stole our name.
That was the most unattractive laugh I've ever made.
I just like, how come no one has done that parody and it's just the same Jem and the Holograms and just Glenn Danzig redubs all of Pizzazz's lines like, Daddy, Eric Raymond, we need to take down Jem. Like, that would be hilarious.
That'd be more fun as an animated project where you just keep the same Jem 80s intro, but then just replace them with the Misfits characters.
We are the Misfits. We do it better. I could do that. I could do this all day. Yeah. No, then they could do lame. Never mind. I'm stopping. All right. It was going to be dumb.
So you want to get into the questions?
Do we have any more segues or anything to delay it?
I don't know. Does anyone want to talk about Cloverfield 2?
Yeah.
Oh, 10 Cloverfield.
There was a Cloverfield 1?
Okay, 10 Cloverfield Lane is a... Fuck it, I don't give a shit. I'm tired of this. I don't care about that movie. Next questions. Anybody has a question, be sure to write them in the YouTube comments and start out with the word question so it's easier to find. So our first question is from the Chill Yoshi 64. Question: what's the stupidest thing a teacher has done? One day my history teacher didn't give a shit, so he put on a Watch Mojo video about the Vietnam War.
Oh.
As a teacher just...
Wait, was it a top 10 list about top 10 worst things of
Vietnam War facts.
Top 10 epic fails of Vietnam War.
I so hope it was. That sounds amazing.
Has a teacher ever just said, fuck it, and here's a video?
When I was in school, yeah, that would happen all the time. It was just or I like when they would leave for a day, give us busy work, and then not understand why we didn't do it. And I'd look at them like, you just changed the lesson, and then you want us to be invested in this with a crappy substitute? Come on now.
No.
Come on.
The worst busy work is the ones where you have to, those puzzle things, the ones where it's a bunch of letters in a grid, and you need to, find these words they listed. You know? Mm-hmm. You have to circle those.
Oh, wait, actually, I know one that happened to me. I went to this school, and part of the year they want to do a ski trip, but I think skiing's stupid, so I don't do it. And they were like, well, if you come, you can just hang out in the lodge. And I was like, why would I do that? So I was like, I'm not going to go. And they're like, oh, if you stay, you get to sit here and learn about the history of Annapolis, Maryland. And I was like, I'm staying home.
Yeah. Fuck it.
It felt like that Simpsons joke where they're like the Krusty trading cards, and they're like Krusty visits relatives in Annapolis, Maryland. Do you remember that joke?
Yeah.
Annapolis is okay, but it's kind of boring too.
Oh, but I remember there was this one time where for Pi Day, March 14th. Pi Day?
You know what day Pi Day is off the top of your head?
No, not off the top of my head. I had to think about it January, February, March.
There's a Pi Day? Is that like a Texas thing?
3.14, March 14th,
Oh, I was thinking of the food pie. This makes so much. I was like,
fucking Christ, Jim.
To be fair, Jim, you do celebrate Pi Day by eating pie because it's funny and ironic and it's not clever.
Oh, see, I really thought, I was like, Pan was really into pie. He was like, okay, sorry.
I have another pie story for later, but anyway, this first pie story is I don't know, we just went on the projector, the teacher just got us together and we were just watching some video explaining Pi Day. I think it was a Dr. Worm video by They Might Be Giants about pie, I think, if that existed. I don't know, but eventually we were just the kids were like, yeah, click on one of the side related videos, and it was just this cringy ass bad CG animation of just someone beatboxing, and I had to sit there and fucking watch with these CG possums that were so poorly animated. I want to leave. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, and my science teacher always tries to get us involved in the class because, teenagers are very lazy and they just don't really get involved in the science questions. So she plays like little rap videos all the time of like all these concepts, and it just
Did she rap her own?
She tried once. It didn't turn out well.
What beat did she use?
It was just a person going, like, just doing like a freestyle, like, just terribly. Just. Yeah.
It sounds like it would have taken a few years off your life.
It did.
They say secondhand embarrassment is more dangerous than firsthand.
Oh man, I'm gonna use that. That's good.
That kind of stuff. There's been a couple of TV shows that I can't watch because of it. Like I'm rewatching Parks and Rec, and there's an episode where Leslie is trying to get some voter to like her, and she just goes out of her way, and I'm just like, I can't watch this. She's so like what she's doing is so embarrassing that I can't handle it. Secondhandly, I'm just like
that was the big thing in the 2000s was comedy that was really hard to watch. It was so embarrassing. I feel like we don't do that anymore.
Well, with characters trying to speak Ebonics, yeah.
Yeah.
But my second pie story. This one time, me and my friends were at our house. Like we were watching the new episode of Billy and Mandy, and there was an episode of Billy and Mandy. Well, the Hector con Carne segments where I don't know. It was just a musical episode where they were singing about pie. So what we decided to do was get our tape recorder and record about 2 hours of us having a pie radio show, singing about pie.
Do you still have the tapes of that? You should put that up.
I think it turned out we didn't hit record properly, so we fucked up. So
wow, record properly. It's a fucking button.
Oh no, I think we hit rewind. I think, and we were rewinding. Really, who knows? But yeah, our entire pie anthology was just lost in time. Yeah. So terrible. Any other horrible teacher stories?
Not a terrible one, but kind of a weird one. In one of my English classes, we were reading Romeo and Juliet, and for whatever reason, our English teacher tries as hard as possible for us not to read in that class. So she'll play like movie clips and stuff that are semi-related to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So like, like the Leonardo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet and all that. That makes some sense. But one time, she played the movie Contagion in class.
What's that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
It's a good movie.
I mean, yeah, but like, what does this have to do with
science class?
No, this was English.
I don't get it. That's weird.
I don't get it either.
Because the DiCaprio one is actually, believe it or not, is the most, even though they updated it to the 90s or whatever, it uses all the, like most of the play. I don't think the other versions do. So that one makes it. That one makes a lot of sense, but like I would defend that. But like, what? Why would you Contagion? Maybe because Matt Damon's in it. No, Kate Winslet's in both of those. I just got it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
There we go. That's the. Thank you, Jim. You answered one of the hardest questions I've had about high school. Thank you.
I bet your teacher. That's what your teacher thought. I go, Kate Winslet's in both. There we go.
This reminds me of.
We're also gonna watch Divergent next week.
Oh, this reminds me. XLR was telling me about during math class, his teacher would often play the movie Minority Report, and he keeps asking like, "What does this have to do with math?" And not even the teacher knew. We just wanted to watch Minority Report.
What's sad is he thought it was a documentary on minorities in America.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't get why Tom Cruise is on the cover. I guess he narrates it.
Could be.
I think this is just like bad teacher things, I guess, like what they do in class that's stupid. Because like in high school, I took French for my language because I'm an idiot and didn't think, wait, maybe Spanish would be the more appropriate thing to take. Mm-hmm. But so I took French because it was a language I was cringy as fuck in high school. But the teacher didn't actually. I'm 25. I'm going to be 26 on January 22nd.
Wait, I thought you were like, oh, never mind.
Wait, how old do you think I was?
Oh, wait. Oh, my God. Never mind.
No, go, shoot.
What?
I don't know if it's a lot. I thought Gables was talking. Whoops, I'm sorry.
Oh.
No. I told you Gables did a really good Stev impression. Nobody believed me.
I don't know. I wasn't thinking.
Okay, but my French teacher didn't actually spend time in class teaching us about French. She mostly went over how there's a human trading ring, like slave trading in France. Like, don't ever go. Be careful if you visit there because they do snatch up tourists and enter them into the slave trading. Like that was the whole the whole year. That's
Wait, was that the year Taken came out and it really freaked her out?
It was like 2006-ish, I think.
Oh, that was a pre-Taken world.
But anyways, she was not there the next year because you have to take 2 parts at the school I went to. And
really?
so now we're in part 2 of French, knowing nothing, and now we're mixed in with the other because there was 2 French teachers, whatever your schedule could fit. And the second teacher obviously like favored her children because she actually taught them stuff, and she just thought the rest of us were idiots. It was the most embarrassing thing I ever went through because I'm just like, we didn't learn shit. And then on top of that,
let me tell you about human. You were like, I didn't learn shit, but let me tell you about human trafficking.
And then in college, I was forced to take Spanish because that was the only language they had, and the teacher assumed we took Spanish like genius, actual smart people with common sense. So that was fun. So like, two language classes I learned nothing in. Well, 3 technically, but like 2 because I didn't take the previous class and they just assumed you did. I struggled in both. It wasn't fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's my rant about teachers.
I can barely.
It's hard because I teach, so like most of my stories are like, no way I do that in my class.
I had a Spanish teacher who couldn't even speak English, and it's like, I mean, if you can't learn another language, who are you to teach others to learn another language?
That's a good point.
High in the sky. Oh, there's pie in the sky. And it makes me wonder why. It's flying through the air in a ship that's driven by a bear. The crust looks flaky, the dough's not cakey, covered in a rich meringue.
I'll go fat and lazy, my brain all soft and hazy.
The pie in the sky makes me wanna love you.
Sethman X Pen, I noticed that some of your titles for podcasts seemed kind of clickbaity, like the one episode was called Inside Out Sucks. Is this just for laughs, or are you trying to get more views? Kind of both.
You're a fucking clickbaiting piece of shit.
Yeah, both. BuzzFeed.
Hey. I mean,
anyway, I don't think we're like
guys,
BuzzFeed at all.
And next video, top 10 Rugrats facts.
Top 10 diaper fetishes and Rugrats. Hell yeah.
Shut the fuck up!
Oh no. I mean, like I don't know. I like the one podcast where it's called The Good Dinosaur Fucking Bombs, and the thumbnail is just this fucking explosion of shit that doesn't make sense. But I don't know.
It didn't bomb, but anyway,
it's a fucking disaster.
It's a failure for Pixar.
I mean, speaking
it's
of
definitely a failure.
Clickbait stuff, not really clickbait as much, but 2 things regarding my channel. One, I covered the Steven Bomb with like vlogs, and I noticed that if I put a character that premieres in that episode, which everyone considers a spoiler, so that's fair. Like I put Garnet when her first Fuse appearance as a thumbnail. A lot of people were like, "Well, you made spoilers." But then I was like, all right, so I avoided them as much as possible, but I noticed the views started dropping. So it turns out if you're covering a cartoon show, the more spoilery the thumbnail, the most likely people will click on it.
Yeah, because
that's the parts they're most excited about.
Yeah, because it looks different. Like they never seen that image before, so it's like, oh, is that the new episode?
Well,
but the exact same. Oh, go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
Well, the problem. No, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, to finish up my channel stuff, I recently announced that I'm going to be doing less art on my channel because. Let's just say this. I did my demo reel, which has nothing but animation in it for a minute, has more views than my video of me talking about Garnet. But it made me only like $10 versus me talking about Garnet made me $80. And I'm not the guy that does it only for the money. The video, the demo reel was a year's worth of work. Me talking about Garnet was like me on a microphone discussing something I really, really enjoyed, really passionate about, and it only took like an hour to edit.
Yeah.
We're all Jews here.
No. So I made a post saying, "Hey guys, I'm changing up. I'm going to focus a little bit on reviews and talking about things that I really enjoy because it doesn't making watch draws feels like work now. Like it stresses me out because there's a certain level of like quality people want recording my screen while doing it. It's difficult, things like that. And I wanted to, show more of my personality on my channel. Like me being on this podcast has helped people, connect with me. So I want to do that more on my own channel. Mm-hmm. And I made my thumbnail was channel update, Steven Universe from now on. But then immediately in the video, I say, hey guys, that was just a lie. I just wanted to see people comment angrily. Well, guess what? There was plenty of people who commented before watching the video. People don't actually watch YouTube videos. They see the thumbnail, they read the title, and then they make their opinion on the video.
Or they watch a minute of it or something.
Oh, this reminds me sorry to go off topic. Well, go ahead.
What? Well, I was just, with the spoiler thing, the only thing that I think non-spoiler reviews work really well the weekend or the day something comes out. But since these videos exist for, forever after that, I think it's better to just have them in there because for most of these things lives, people will know what the spoilers are. It's just for those few couple days. And then I've noticed that, and I've heard this from other people, that when they do non-spoiler reviews, nobody really wants to watch them after that month because they're just kind of like, well, why don't I watch a video that will actually talk about it? Why would I watch this thing? Yeah. And it just kind of dates it, basically,
I remember a while back I went on YouTube and I saw someone's video titled First Impressions of Phantasy Star on Sega Genesis. It's like, why are you making a first impressions video of a video game from 30 years ago, 20 years ago?
To relate to Jim, I basically, being like cautious of the spoiler thing, I started uploading the videos with non-spoilers for the first night. And then after that, I changed the thumbnails. And I noticed that there's like I said, before there's like barely any views. And then when I change the thumbnail, it immediately jumps up because now it catches people's eyes in the related video section.
Yeah.
So totally down with that.
Yeah. Clickbait for your life. Okay, so next question. The laziest Mark. Question: what was your favorite celebrity cameo?
Bill Murray in Space Jam.
Actually, I did like Bill Murray in Bill Murray in Zombieland also.
Oh, but Bill Murray in every movie where he's playing Bill Murray. Got it. Nailed it.
Bill Murray, that one time he punched me in the face for breaking into his house.
Oh, no. But my favorite celebrity cameo is, it was a Simpsons episode where he starred in it, but Mel Gibson in The Simpsons. Remember that?
Oh, what did he do in this? I forget now.
Okay, so in this episode, this was I think 2001 or 2, back, a different time when people loved Mel Gibson. So,
and The Simpsons.
So what happened was, there was a film, they were having a special screening for an upcoming Mel Gibson movie, and everyone praised it, like, for the preview screening, except Homer, who said, wow, that movie was more boring than church. And Mel Gibson himself knew that the movie was shit, so he invited Homer to Hollywood to refilm the movie with his suggestions and make this big, stupid action movie.
I remember this. This started to sound familiar.
Yeah, but the whole issue in that movie, I mean, in that episode of The Simpsons, is that people just love Mel Gibson too much, and they're too afraid to criticize him.
Well, people did. I will say, people really did love Mel Gibson for a long time. I mean, have you seen Clueless? She talks about how she loves Mel Gibson and that. I mean, and there's a lot of time. There was actually, you want to hear a funny sketch that they'll never air again on SNL, was he was the host and they made a sketch. This isn't a joke. I saw this with my own eyes. It was called Mel Gibson Dream Gynecologist. And I don't think they would make that sketch now. Now it would be Nightmare Gynecologist. Because he was like this dreamy guy. But the other thing that bugs me about when people disregard Mel Gibson is when I watched all the Mad Max movies again, I was like, he was like a good actor for a little bit. Like I still love the first two Lethal Weapons and Road Warrior and the original Mad Max, and like there's certain parts of his film career I probably watch once a year. So it's not like he was. I know he's a cringy person, but don't not watch his good movie. Like Road Warrior is one of the best movies, one of the best sci-fi movies ever. So I don't know. I don't know why I got on this Mel Gibson. I do think he's cringy, and I don't appreciate any stuff. What do you mean?
Cringy.
He's cringy.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's other reasons why people, the general consensus.
The whole Holocaust denying thing, and I don't approve of any of his comments or what he says to his wife on the phone and stuff. But I like him in Mad Max.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't call those cringy per se.
That's true. But I don't have to like someone personally to watch their movie.
20 minutes later.
He sucks, but he also did this. And I think that's... People like to just go, this person's this thing, and that's it. And people are...
What was the question that led us to this?
I know. I'm sorry.
No. Not you, man. I'm like...
I really went off on that. Sorry.
Hey, I'm cameos from a thing.
Oh, cameos.
Celebrity cameos.
I don't know how we got... Oh, because Pan brought up Mel Gibson.
Let's go next. Other cameos.
Ernest Borgnine in The Simpsons.
Sonic and Wreck-It Ralph.
That's not a celebrity cameo.
Fuck you. Sonic is totally a celebrity.
Yeah, maybe 20 years ago.
Fuck you.
Hey, Sonic's cool.
20 years ago.
Oh, actually, George Clooney, when he just did the dog in that one South Park episode, he was just the dog that went ruff, ruff.
That's he was also in Spy Kids as the president, except what they did is they just showed a video of him talking through a conference phone thing, and really he was pantsless in that scene, like behind the scenes. He was just in his room, and they said, "Hey, we need you to film a cameo. Put on the top half of this suit, and we'll just film you for 3 seconds."
Really?
Yeah. Spy Kids 3D, I think. Yeah, there was a lot of weird... Yeah, that's the thing that the old Spy Kids did that the new one didn't do, is that there was all these stupid cameos and celebrities, and the new one, like, the closest you got to a cool cameo was, Machete was there for literally a second and did nothing. They just panned by him, and that was it. It was a waste. But, here's a more esoteric question. Time Palette says, question, more of a 90s question than animation. Do you guys remember 100 Good Deeds of Eddie McDowell? Always thought they had to make 100 episodes to complete the show. Not only that, but in one of the episodes, a good deed was deducted. That show never had a conclusion. Anyone remember the show?
I remember.
I do.
Vaguely.
let me, for a bunch of kids watching this, let me explain 100 Good Deeds of Eddie McDowell. Basically, it was about this bully played by Seth Green of all people, and he bullied all these kids. And one day, he messed with a homeless guy by smashing up his car. And the homeless guy was like a wizard or something and said, "I'm going to turn you into a dog. And you have to complete 100 good deeds."
Oh, I remember this now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he gets turned into a dog and must complete 100 good deeds so he can be turned back into a human, which is a very unrealistic premise for a show because Seth Green could never play a bully to anyone. I'll believe the dog part, but Seth Green being the bully, no. Like, if you're being bullied by Seth Green, your life is over.
What if at the end, if the show had made it to 100... after he turns back, he actually was aging like a dog ages, so he'd be tremendously older as a human.
Oh, fuck. Man. Damn. No, that's a horrible twist, but yeah. Does anyone actually watch this shit?
No.
Okay, well.
I watched Eddie McDowell.
I just maybe they just make a sequel nowadays where they complete the series, and then once he turns back to human, he's just adult Seth Green. There you go.
Oh, yeah. But, like, I think the only notable thing about this show is that in season 2, they changed the theme song. And can you guess what they changed the theme song to?
Something from Bullied for Soup?
No, it's probably Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yes! Yeah. Who Let the Dogs Out? They fucking used that shit everywhere in the 2000s. That song was that was like the Gangnam Style of the 2000s.
Oh, jeez.
Psychologo121. Question: how do you feel about cartoons/movies making pop culture references or using memes?
Don't do it. It's creative. Like, it just shows you're creatively dry for ideas.
I've been watching older movies now that reference things like from the 40s that were made in the 40s that were pop culture referencing. And it's interesting because there's so many things that I have to look up what they are. And I'm wondering, because people have always said in 50 years no one will understand Family Guy, and I kind of wonder what it'll be like to show family, if I'm live that long and I can show it to someone, what they'll even think of the first season. They'll be like, what the hell is half of this crap? Because it really dates you. Like, for every movie that can do it, like Blazing Saddles or something, and it's still funny, there's like 100,000 that like it just doesn't live on because nobody gets it, So I would say just don't be too interested in absolutely current things. Try to do things that people will actually understand. Don't do things that happen that week because it has an expiration date.
I mean, I was watching Ugly Americans, like reruns of it, and there was an episode where they were parodying Twilight, and it just made me think, oh, this was made in 2010, around there. It feels very stale. I mean, like, if you're gonna reference something that's at least older than 5 years, just to know if it has like a cultural relevance,
Yeah, you don't. All the Twilight jokes, like now when I think of that, I was like, why didn't people just let that go? Like, it seems super lame now. You're like, because it was everywhere, it was funnier. But it's like what 50 Shades of Grey jokes will be like. I mean, I can't. What's that movie? 50 Shades of Black?
50 Shades of Grey already are like tired old jokes.
Yeah, it's like you can't
anymore.
You can't, like, when you do that kind of stuff, it really dates you. Yeah. So,
I mean, I like certain movies that have some pop culture references, but they don't rely on it. Like, I guess Rick and Morty would be a good example of them just openly referencing movies.
Well, if you do it, like, when Dan Harmon does it, it, like, sometimes connects to the plot.
Yeah.
Or it's, like, an interesting critique on something. But I think when you just do it to do it, it's also that the problem is pop culture referencing wasn't as big in the 90s as it became in the 2000s. And I think that kind of, like when Mystery Science Theater used to do it, I thought it was amazing because no one else really did it. But now, like, I don't know if I know Mystery Science Theater is coming back, but I think it'd be harder for me to watch them make Twilight jokes and jokes about Bernie Sanders,
Yeah.
I would be like, I have to see this on my Facebook feed all day. Are you kidding me? It's like there was no Facebook feed in 97.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like it's going to get old very fast.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was watching the Cleveland show and they were making fun of AMC and they were saying, AMC, where we air Mad Men and nothing else. And I checked and it's like, oh, this episode came out the same year Walking Dead came out, so already this is dated.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be careful. It doesn't... I don't know. I mean, The Simpsons, I think, do it a lot better, frankly. But I don't think... Because they would make... They didn't really do much topical stuff until later, But South Park stuff holds up fairly well, and they do it, so...
Yeah, except for Vote or Die.
Which one's voted? Oh, that one doesn't work. But what's one really works and was super topical was the voting one where it was a giant douche versus a turd sandwich. Yeah. That's like every election as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So I guess this is the end of the podcast. Unless anyone else has anything else to say.
I got to make churro French toast.
He has to make his churros. So is this the end? Gables, do you have anything to say? You didn't say shit.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, tell us a story, Gables.
I wanted to talk about like the Cloverfield like sequel, whatever, because I realized something about it.
What?
It'd probably be a better reveal that like they didn't market it at all as a Cloverfield movie, and then reveal in the movie it's within the same universe, like as if that was like a twist or something.
That's not gonna make money.
No,
I know. I'm just saying with like how JJ's mystery box thing.
Well, it worked. What they did is they kind of corrected the marketing mistake of the first Cloverfield. Was that when you saw Transformers, when I left the theater, everyone was just talking about Cloverfield. Mm-hmm. They're like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see it." But that Cloverfield came out 6 months later, so it wasn't as anticipated as it was in September. So what he did is he's like, "What if I put out the trailer 2 months before?" And so now everyone's going to see Cloverfield Lane because they're excited and they're talking about it still. So
that makes sense. Okay.
So I think, and he also, by the way, he did that with the first Transformers, and he's doing this one he put it out with 13 Hours, which is a new Michael Bay movie.
Oh yeah.
So and his first writing job, J.J. Abrams' first writing job, was on Armageddon. So he has a Michael Bay connection.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Cloverfield 2, like it's just gonna be entirely in that bunker, and maybe we'll see the monster through a crappy little window because the budget is only $5 million.
The theory
it's probably not even gonna be the monster. It's probably gonna be like the little like parasite things.
Well, the theory is that the monster. I didn't see the first Cloverfield actually, but is the monster called Cloverfield or something?
It's called Clover, but it's never like addressed in the movie.
There's no name for the monster. The only reason the movie is called Cloverfield is
I'm just going off like what Wikipedia says.
Wait, why is it called Cloverfield?
Because that's where they shot the film on some set on Cloverfield Street or something, and they just said, let's just call it that because the fans call it that. Because when the Cloverfield trailer first premiered, there was no title. All there was to go on is like release scene 1/18/08, and nobody knew what it was or what to call it. So eventually someone found out it was being shot on Cloverfield Lane or something, and people called it that. Like they were originally going to call it Slush Show because there was a guy whose T-shirt had a slushy on it that says Slusho.
Yeah, because that's an old JJ's stuff.
I mean, as much as people criticized the mystery box after Star Wars came out, I think he kind of had to get the mystery box to work again or find a new way to write stories. But clearly, J.J. Abrams doesn't want to do that. So, But I'm curious. And also, I love John Goodman. So I'm more like John Goodman's in a movie. I'm there. Like, you know, John Goodman's good. Like, I can't name a movie John Goodman's been bad in. So I think it'll be cool, but I don't. It was interesting suddenly having this trailer, and it was originally on the slate called Valencia, and people had started to go, how come there's not a trailer for this movie that comes out in 2 months? And suddenly we got one, and they changed the title to 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
So
I want to believe that it's just going to be some random movie that's like, slap the Cloverfield name on it, whatever.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like found footage because like...
Well, found footage is over in terms of. I don't think they're doing that. That was a trend that's.
Yeah.
Actually, I think last time I was on here, one of the times I complained about a Doctor Who episode doing found footage.
Oh,
recently.
yeah, we did talk about, No, the last found footage movie, I think, was Project Almanac. I think that's the last one.
But like this trailer, it's shot conventionally on like actual, like a film, not found footage at all.
I mean, I'm curious about it. I hope it, but I'm wondering how it connects. Some people said it's a prequel. Some people said it's like what society is like after the first Cloverfield. I mean, no one seems to know, but I think it's fun that we don't know. It's like we know so much about movies before they come out. Like most of Star Wars I kind of knew about. So it's kind of cool to be like, what's going to happen? Like, that's kind of exciting. Well, and, I know Abrams always wants that to happen, but it seems like for right now, it kind of is. So.
Well, the thing about it is you can tell it takes place afterwards because the girl's cell phone in the trailer is brand new, like completely different from something that would be in 2008.
Ooh, good observation.
So you can tell this was some bullshit that they slapped on the Cloverfield name.
Well, supposedly there is a twist with why they're in the bunker, but no one's sure if what the original Valencia script has been changed or what happens. So there's a lot of questions right now. Nobody knows the answers to.
They're going to pull a Village, an M. Night Shyamalan Village.
So they realize they're in the movie The Village?
yeah, that's an even worse fate.
Oh my God, they go like, we're in the movie The Village. We have to get out of the village in the movie The Village and then get out of... Once we're out of that, find a way to get out of this movie that we're in, which is the movie The Village, right?
They end up in Last Airbender after that.
They wind up in The Visit, and they think they're fine until they realize, well, I don't want to blow The Visit spoiler,
I haven't seen it. It looks interesting enough.
There's a twist. Shyamalan, you think he learns. He doesn't learn. He's always got to have a twist. The twist was he got you to spend $10 again.
Zing!
Yeah.
That's the Shyamalan twist.
And then
I appreciate you, Jim.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Oh, thanks, Steph. I appreciate you too.
10 Cloverfield Lane is a fucking fraud.
Oh, that's where my dentist is.
Well, so is this the end of the podcast?
I'm hungry.
Okay,
Yeah, me too.
we gotta go.
I ate while you guys talked about Star Wars. I muted my mic and went and got pizza, so I had my own pizza party over here.
All right, everyone.
Well, fuck you two.
I haven't seen it. I've seen episode 4, 1, and the Christmas special. Most importantly, the Christmas special.
Wow.
All the Christmas.
All the essentials.
That was the first one I saw.
All right.
Goodbye, everyone. Next video is the Rugrats series review.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm behind schedule. I can't record a song at the end of this podcast. Sorry.